This week we are all about questions, and before we launch into that, you do have to be a bit careful with questions. We use this to show people the kind of rules around questions because you don't want to be bombarding your child. So what we say is ask one question for every four comments. So it's basically ask them one question for every four things that you tell them. Because it's so easy. I, as a parent, fall into this trap sometimes as well, that you can end up bombarding your child with questions to try and get something out of them, and actually that tends to have the opposite effect, and it makes for a bit of a weird conversation. Here's Uncle Buck to demonstrate that.
Where do you live?
In the city.
Do you have a house?
Apartment.
Own or rent?
Rent.
What do you do for a living?
Lots of things.
Where's your office?
I don't have one.
How come?
I don't need one.
Where's your wife?
Don't have one.
How come?
It's a long story.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
How come?
It's an even longer story.
Are you my dad's brother?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
38.
I'm your dad's brother, all right.
You have much more hair on your nose than my dad.
How nice of you to notice.
I'm a kid, that's my job.
So as we saw there, asking lots and lots of questions is a bit of an unnatural situation. It doesn't make for a very good conversation. You could see at the end there that some comments started to come in and that felt a bit better. So just bear that in mind when you're asking questions. The other thing to bear in mind when you're asking questions is some are harder than others. And actually this has all been organised into sort of 4 levels by someone called Marion Blank, and it's pretty easy to get your head around. We've made some information, some graphics for you that will go along with this post, but basically a good way to illustrate it is my eldest, when he was about 2, 3, sometimes we would fall into the trap of saying, why have you done that? Why have you poured your juice all over the floor? And we'd still laugh about the fact that often he would answer from 11:30. That was his stock answer. We would say, why have you done this? Ask him a question that he was too hard for him to understand, and he would just come back with from 11:30. So the reason he did that was because why was too complex a question to ask him at that age, which was a bit daft of us. But questions are, like we say, organised into kind of levels. They're organised into a hierarchy. So you start with really simple things like, what are you doing? What's that? Can you find one of these? To questions that then take a little bit more thinking about and might not be something that's right in front of you. Then level 3 moves on to, again, you need to sort of work it out a little bit more. It's not immediately obvious. And then right up to that level 4 where you need to use some reasoning skills, some world knowledge to work it out what might happen if we didn't do that. All this stuff you can do in just normal everyday activities just to get your child developing their understanding of questions and their ability to work out answers. If they're struggling, you can tell them the answer. It's not a test. So you can ask and answer your own question, and that will still teach them an awful lot. So like I said, keep an eye out for the visuals. We've broken it down really simply with some stuff that you can stick up around your house if that helps. But just do remember as well, keep the comments flowing along with your questions.